Money Day, guys and girls. You're here with your host, Pastor Pips, and I'm bringing you this week's market outlook. Of course, guys, as we always get into things, make sure to check out www.litzcapital.co.uk and, of course, book a free inquiry. We also do have another brand new Discord service where it's completely free. We will throw out some trades in there, some ideas, and just another forum where you can have some free value. Just head over to the website, litcapital.co.uk, and just click that button there and you shall receive your link. Now, as we always do, let's just head straight into the economic calendar. Now, of course, first things first, we do have a very heavy week when it comes to economic events. Monday, we do have GDP for the pound. Pretty much for most of the morning, there's a lot of data that's coming out there. It will be kind of interesting to see how cable reacts to this information. So, of course, early on, it'll be good to kind of see how the market is going to react after the sell-off that we had at market close last week. Tuesday, we do have average earnings and claimant count change for the pound with some economic sentiment for the euro. Also, PPI at 130 for the dollar. Coming in on Wednesday, we do have industrial production for China, core retail sales, crude oil inventories, FOMC conference, and also the Fed interest rate decision. So a big one. Will also be very interesting because we've seen the indices slide off. I think about 400 points or so towards the close of last week. So kind of interesting to see how the market is going to react and whether the Fed is going to say some hawkish or some dovish remarks about the overall US economy. Later on that evening, we do have GDP for New Zealand dollar. Thursday, we have AD employment change, and we've got some heavy Swiss franc events as well. We do have some interest rate decisions, some monetary policy, and their own press conferences. We don't really trade Swiss, but if you do trade Swiss, do keep an eye out for that. We do have Bank of England interest rate decision on Thursday afternoon, building permits for the dollar, initial jobless claims, and also Philadelphia Fed manufacturing index. Now, Friday, we do have another policy statement and press conference for Japan this time. We've got CPI for the euro, and we finish off with one more Fed Chair Powell speech. So it's a very, very, very heavy week in terms of all the things that's going to be happening economically. So yeah, let's just make sure we relax and we're on the right side of things. And of course, understand that, economic events are just an excuse for price to move to certain price points and levels. Now, I'm going to start off with the DXY. Like I said earlier, we did break this daily low. So realistically, I am expecting to see price come down lower. Now, the 4 hour currently is quite bullish in terms of the highs that we have taken out. So in terms of price pushing up to this price level, it is fine. It does make sense. So I'm kind of hoping to see if we can get just a daily pullback, a daily retracement into discount prices for prices to come down lower. Previous price points have been taken out. So of course, the next area that I do see here is on the 8 hour around 104.388 for prices to potentially react. Now, price may not necessarily take out the low, but it can definitely feel some imbalances and come slightly lower. Now, let's move over to USD JPY. Now, USD JPY there on the daily, we are still remaining and maintaining our bullish front. Now, when I come over to the 2 hour, we could potentially still hold these highs and pull back down lower. As I've seen there on the yen index, there could be some potential strength on the way, which should drive USD JPY lower. And of course, if my take and my perspective on the dollar eventually does come down, this should also aid USD JPY in coming down lower. We do have some, short-term lows I would like to see get taken out before we potentially continue pushing up higher. We could potentially find some buys here on the 8 hour picture around 132.855 for prices to then push on higher. Now let's move on to GBPUSD. So having a look at cable, as we can see the price, we had a massive sell-off last week, about 200 and let's just call it 280 pips there. We had a great sell also called out into the Discord community partial sell, but we can see that the sell actually did hold out for a lot longer, and we did take out some very 4-hour major lows. So looking at this perspective right now, there's nothing really that screams to me on the lower time frame. So we're going to stick to the higher time frame. And of course, on the daily, we do have this daily down candle, which kind of gave us this push to the upside. So we've got slightly more imbalances to fill below. So we'd like to see price come down, fill that area to potentially give us a buy higher. Now, this buy may not necessarily clap the highs and, give us a sell from somewhere around here. It could potentially just to be a pullback. Of course, where we had the sales last week, it was just pretty much one side, just bearish candles coming down. So I'd like to see price come and fill some of that inefficiency before we potentially come down lower, if that's what price wants to do. Remember, we do have a lot of economic events, so it's an opportunity for the markets to really react off of the manipulated data. So coming over to US 30, okay, very simple play. There's the sell-off that I was talking about as well. Realistically looking for some buys. When price, of course, shows itself that it wants to be a buy, but right now we can see that it is a heavy sell. I do expect this to drop a lot lower. We do have some more imbalance, very similar to cable. In fact, we do have some more lows down here, and the 3-hour imbalance here to be filled. I quite like this candle here. Price kind of left it alone. So, if we don't react off of this candle, price may want to potentially take out the low, but of course, just to give us that bit of a pullback, that bit of a fight back to fill some of this imbalance here. That is the area that I see where price could potentially give us that. Like I said, we could see this take out the high, which is perfectly fine, because on the daily there, technically we are bullish with price breaking above this lower high. However, if price doesn't do so, we do have a breaker here. Price can react from this level around 32 whole level and then give us a drop back down lower. Regardless, there's some perspectives and some moves there in this for us to take a look at. Now, let's have a look at the S&P. So very similar picture to the S&P, to US 30. Okay, looking for that similar play. As you can see, the US 30 did actually, in fact, react out of its 3-hour down candle, which kind of gave us the move to the upside. So I'm kind of expecting something similar for price to react in a similar fashion. Same thing with the NAS 100. Okay, we do have a 3-hour candle there, but the daily picture for the NAS just looks a little bit clearer. But of course, if price does want to sink down a lot lower into the candle, it is perfectly okay. With that being said, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you found this video valuable and informative, make sure to share. And yeah, guys, remember, every day is money day. Peace.